Beach FM, locals talking to locals.
Time to say good morning to our Greater Wellington Regional Rep. It's Penny Gaylor. Good morning, Penny.
Good morning, everybody. Hope you're like me, got the fire going already, actually.
Well, it's a nice, fine, sunny day. Yeah, it's nice and sunny, though, isn't it?
Yes, but I think the house, gets a bit chilled on these winter days, doesn't it?
Yeah,
so I just want to make sure it's keeping nice and toasty for us.
Absolutely. Now, can you sort out, what's the story on the parking at the old Waikanae Hotel? I mean, it looks like the Greater Wellington Regional Council can't find anybody at this stage, is that right?
So what do you mean by can't find anybody?
Can't find, F-I-N-E, can't find anybody for incorrect parking because you haven't got the bylaw in place for it.
No, so we've just going through that process in terms of consultation for, what we do for the bigger picture, because it's all very well to kind of look at, what's happening on the specific site, but what's been happening for years, and it happens a lot, there's a bit of a creep, and suddenly we realise, gosh, we're ploughing millions of dollars into putting band-aids on our parking problems all the time. We did that at Waikanae. They extended the train service. Heaps of people are using it, but of course more and more cars are parking around not the right places, and very annoying and frustrating for local business owners and local residents, particularly around that Waikanae area. So imagine that kind of virtually happens around a lot of places where there are train stations. So what we actually need to focus on is getting the right setting for what is the balance in terms of the job of a regional council to provide that's a reasonable amount of parks for people, but do we end up doing things like fining people? Gosh, we've even got to think long term, do we charge people? So we're going to have that kind of conversation, as they say, because we want people to keep using the public transport, and in Wellington, as we've said frequently, we're the highest users in the country of public transport, but with that comes the kind of reality of what do we do about people's parking as they get themselves to the train station.
Yes, I think to be fair at Waikanae, it's most probably the train users who are using the car park because it fills up very early in the morning before anybody else would need it. It's overused now, which is good news, but we've still got a huge amount of traffic in and around the business area, Nio Road, etc. We've got the Mahi Street now a problem, and across the railway line's a big problem too, cars parking everywhere. So it's just the number of people using the trains, I suppose, these days.
Absolutely, and of course, you have a train station and you tend to have them near, like you do in Waikanae, where you've actually got a sort of a shopping facility, but, in Waikanae there you've actually got a lot of businesses, so there's kind of employees, there's customers, there's people using services such as, going off to a doctor, and then on top of those layers are the public transport users. So, public transport is part of the core stuff of regional council, but we just don't think about that that parking stuff as being part of it, but it is. So, as I say, for what we've seen for us around the council table at regional council now is that for some time we've just kind of gone, here's a problem, what's the solution, as opposed to we do actually need to kind of look at the bigger picture. Are we in the business of creating parking buildings like some of us want to? Are we in the business of going, well, what do we provide that will then encourage people to use public transport? What do we provide that then musters people up so we don't have them parking in the way of residents and local businesses who do need somewhere for their customers and who do need somewhere for their employees?
Yes. So what we really need is this new train service to Otaki, don't we? And that would alleviate the problem a lot. So how can you push that along any quicker than what you're doing now?
It simply can't go any quicker than it is going. So these are huge financial investments and not to be made lightly, and certainly not made lightly, but they have never been on the table in the way that they are in this current kind of financial process. So that's really exciting because we've never been this far into the process and this sort of much kind of gain as we have got now. So this is really good in terms of providing a secured service for people north of Waikanae, and in fact if we secure it, the plan is that we're actually adding to it. So we're should I say, travelling in the right direction.
Fair enough too. Now, are we travelling in the right direction with buses across the eastern side of Waikanae now? Is that all ready to go? Is it Monday as it starts?
Yes, and so we've, I know there's a lot of kind of commentary at the moment from all directions about what's happening, and I just got off the phone about 10 minutes ago with our senior manager who's managing that transformation process right across the whole Wellington region, and I wanted to check in, knowing that I was going to be talking to you, check in how we are doing in terms of the Kapiti services, Kapiti Coast services, and with our changes that are coming up, but also our change of provider, that's all good and sorted, so no worries for us here on the Kapiti Coast. So I do hope that people will enjoy and use and, in some ways celebrate that we've got some extended services for people, for example, in the Waikanae East. There has been some changes, perhaps not as dramatic in the Kapiti Coast as other parts of the region, but one of the big things for us here in the Kapiti Coast is the new buses that are coming through with the user bus, which was a big requirement of who would win the tenders, was that they were better for our climate buses. So they're putting out less emissions from the back. So that makes it better for our environment and, better for us who are driving and cycling behind and beside all these buses, and our kiddies walking to school, and all the people who are out for their walks and stuff. So good progress, and yes, looking forward to that change for us here in the Kapiti Coast.
Now, I see the Wellington Regional Council is getting ready to crack down on vehicles driving on protected beaches, and I should imagine that means the Kapiti Coast here as well, does it?
Yes, I think that one sort of surfaced in the last few days while I was actually away with the kids for a bit of the school holiday break. So wanting to kind of check in and get my facts right, so I don't want to kind of dive into that and make an uninformed comment. And I know that the Kapiti Coast District Council are checking in with me because they're interested in what this means, what the implications are here. So hopefully perhaps by our next call next week, I'll get my head around that as well.
Good on you. Okay, Penny, enjoy the school holidays. We'll talk to you next week.
Same to everybody else. Thank you.
Penny Gaylor, Greater Wellington Regional Rep here on Beach FM.
106.3 Beach FM.